The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. New Orleans undermanned, only 5 wins on the year coming in, and the Knicks had to have a tremendous effort from Jalen Brunson, who had 29 of his 39 in the second half. Mikal Bridges, another excellent game with 18, and the Knicks end up prevailing in New Orleans over the Pelicans, 104-93. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto along with Wally Szczerbiak. So, Wally, the Knicks, with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, were down by 14. Mm-hmm. From that point to the end of the game, the Knicks outscored the Pelicans by 25. A major turnaround. How'd they do it?
Well, I saw a couple plays where Jalen Brunson was just trying to get himself going, saying to himself, I'm not going to let our team lose this game. Obviously, an undermanned Pelicans team. They came out, shot the ball very well in the first half. Knicks couldn't find any rhythm. Karl Anthony Towns was just a little bit off tonight. It happens. These players are human beings. But Jalen Brunson, he said, I'm just going to put the team on my back. I'm going to make every shot I look at. 13 for 19, 39 points. He knows this team, the Pelicans, is shook. So if he could put the pressure on them, get the lead back, that they would fold, and they did. They let go of the rope. They don't have their guys to keep in a game like that, and the Knicks came away with, no matter how it looks in the end, it's a good win in the score column.
You mentioned Karl Anthony Towns did have a double-double. Now has 24 double-doubles in 26 games as a Knick, but 11 points for him. That's it. That's a Knicks low for him.
Yep.
Jalen Brunson doing what he's done all year, reading the game. Tonight They needed him to score. And in the comeback in the third quarter, Wally, he scored 16 of his season-high 39 points.
Yeah, he just went into just Jalen mode that he was playing in all last year. He wasn't looking for anyone else. He was just taking the first available shot. He was pulling up from 25, 30 feet. Anytime he put his head down and got to the basket, he finished with ease. And it was an incredible performance. It really was. The Knicks were looking for someone to just step up. And this is why you accumulate a roster with MVP candidates and all-stars on it and high-level NBA players, because no matter how good of a system you run, if you're the Pelicans, if you don't have the closer and you don't have the guy to just finish the game and get a bucket when you need it, then you're not going to win in this league. That's just how this league works. This league is dominated by the superstars, and the Knicks have 2 superstars and a couple other guys that are borderline all-stars, and that's why the Knicks pull out games like this when they probably played at a B- level. If, as far as what they're capable of, they still came away with a win on the road. That's impressive.
Again, down 14 with 8 minutes to go in the third. They were able to come back. They were up by 3, Wally, after the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, they were able to keep up that play that they started in the third quarter. They were able to pretty much cruise to the win here in the final 12 minutes.
And Jalen didn't come out of the game. You notice that? Like, he was like, I can't let this momentum go. Because when the Knicks took over that game to close the third quarter, you have to continue to keep your foot on the Pelicans' throat and not let them breathe, let them get any life. Mikal Bridges, he struggled a little bit in the first half, but he made key shots again. I mean, he was second leading scorer for the Knicks at 18 points. He's out there for pretty much the whole entire game, defending on the perimeter, running through screens. And it was just an impressive performance by Jalen Brunson. And I thought Jericho Sims, just his activity, his motor, his extra possessions that he got the team in the first and second half were really key possessions to help this Knicks team pull off this win.
Wally Sims didn't score, but did grab 8 rebounds. You take a look at our game summary. Knicks now 13-4 in their last 17 games. They're 18-10 on the season, and they've won 5 straight games on the road. Time now to bring in Monica McNutt. She helped call the game tonight on ESPN New York, the radio broadcast. Monica, great to see you. What do you think about the turnaround there in the third quarter?
Well, you got to give Jalen Brunson a ton of credit, right? He certainly led the way in terms of the Knicks needing to find some energy. I want to be mindful to give the Pelicans credit, because I think in that second quarter, you saw a unit of guys that are fighting for their spots on the roster, that are young in their careers and trying to establish themselves. So I give them credit for the way that they were able to play defense and challenge the Knicks. But ultimately, the Knicks had to hit some shots, and that's what Jalen Brunson was able to do in that third quarter in terms of leading the charge.
Monica, how about Jalen Brunson just going into beast mode, taking over that game and not letting the Knicks win? What did you see out of him in that third period?
We had a note in the second half. He scored 29 and the rest of the team scored 27. And so I think you saw a mentality. Now, what I will say is, and we've seen this. We saw this at points last year, you guys, but usually it happens in that first quarter when he gets his first break and then comes back into the game. I thought Herb Jones did a great job on him in the first class. By our stats on the radio booth, he held him to 0 points when he was the primary defender. He did score 10, I believe, in the first half on other guys, right? But in the second half, Jalen, with his high basketball IQ and his patience within the game, had figured out even how to get the better of Herb Jones and send him to the bench with those 5 fouls. And so I think you saw why he has been an all-star, why he is the captain, why he has the contract that he has, and is the cornerpiece to what this Knicks team is building.
You know, Monica, the thing that we're talking about here is, and so far through 28 games, last year the Knicks needed Brunson to score a lot more than he has had to score this year. And tonight and some other nights when they've needed him to score, he has absolutely done that. When they needed him to distribute, he's done that. He's doing everything he needs to do in terms of reading the game.
But we hear that, Pidto, from multiple guys on this roster, right? Like, their creed, their ethos, if you will, is what does this team need? And Jalen Brunson is no different. We were sort of joking at halftime. Some of the beat guys were sitting up next to Tyler and I, and it was like, oh, this looks like a vintage performance, meaning a performance prior to Karl Anthony Towns' arrival, because you're right. We've not had to have this sort of outburst in terms of scoring consistently this year from Jalen Brunson compared to the way that it was needed offensively last year. But I think it's a reason why it's a team sport, right? Like, any guy can get hot. Mikal Bridges with 2 really good games over the course of this stretch with the 29, or excuse me, with the 29 the other day, shooting the 3-ball really well. And then tonight, Jalen Brunson leads the way. I do think, too, and we were talking about this, just a little bit maybe of an emotional hangover for Cat. And I think that's completely fair considering all that he had to deal with in Minnesota.
Monica, I can't believe I missed Giacomo's. How was it, and did you have the corn mock chew?
I did not have the corn mock chew. I had blackened grouper, which was phenomenal. The cornbread is delicious. We had bread pudding at dessert. You know, Wally, Giacomo's is a great place. We had a great dinner. I have one little wrinkle, though, if I'm honest. My sides this year. I was just a little disappointed with my sides, but other than that, the fellowship was terrific and the food was great.
I cannot believe she just said that about Giacomo.
I know. I knew you guys were going to react this way.
Tough critic.
But I think,
Monica, I don't know if you're going to be allowed on the road with the crew again after
Listen,
saying that.
I think we have to have time to be here for more than one place. We could do a Giacomo's, and we do a little bit more digging and see what else.
Oh, you're supposed to then
we can enjoy in New York. New Orleans.
Hopping around to all the other restaurants and listen to music, all the different spots.
Seriously, everything was delicious. Sweet potatoes and cabbage, I've just had better sweet potatoes and cabbage, y'all.
I should have had the corn mock chew. It's the best side.
I don't know if that was an option last night. Did we have that? I didn't have it. The guys had an alligator cheesecake situation appetizer. I don't eat that, so I didn't eat that. But it was good, great company for sure.
Awesome.
All right, Monica, great to see you. Have a great trip home. Next time in New Orleans, you will not be going out with the crew. Just heard that.
Wouldn't that be nice, Pidto? I'd be like you, excluded, huh?
Well, if you'd invite me somewhere, I wouldn't have that problem, would I?
Hey.
Oh, this guy's pining for the invite.
All right, Tom Thibodeau's post-game comments coming up. Knicks got one out tonight in New Orleans, beating the Pelicans 104-93. Stay with us.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back, everyone, as the Knicks come back with 8 minutes to go in the third, down 14, and ended up winning by 11, 104-93 over the Pelicans. Back now from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Next up for the Knicks, they are back home Monday night to play host to the Raptors. Remember, December the 9th in Toronto. Karl Anthony Towns scored the last 5 points of the game, and OG Anunoby had a key block on R.J. Barrett down the stretch, and the Knicks won in Toronto 113-108. And then on Christmas Day, the Knicks are home again to play host to the Spurs. Time now to listen into the postgame comments from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. As always, presented by Chase.
In our second quarter, we struggled, and then we were searching. I thought Jericho came in and gave us a big lift. And then, Jalen, obviously, the shot making and just lifting everyone up. And we just, we were struggling and then just found a way to win. So that was, I thought we had a good stretch defensively in the third. That also led us into the open floor and played a little faster and got into a good rhythm. And then the shot making was terrific.
Just Jalen, when Cat Cat doesn't have it, or he's in foul trouble, or say?
Yeah, and that was the challenge. The foul trouble with Cat sort of knocked us out of rhythm, and then we were sloppy with the ball, which they're good in terms of turning you over, and so that was a problem. But then I thought Mikhail got going. I thought he and OG defensively and the third were terrific. And then when Jericho was in there, it also his defense had a big impact on the game.
Until he kind of got fired, he was saying Herb and other long-arm defenders of Jalen, but they're trying to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, well, that he's going to see that, and then, and you got to be smart, and and like I said, the big thing is Cat's fouls. I want to take a look at them. I think some of them, we can fix, like with discipline, and so that took us out of our rhythm. We just got to be better with that.
All right, so the Knicks struggle in the first half, and as the coach is talking about Wally back here at the Wally Wall. By the way, the new set has not helped my height problem.
No.
Maybe.
It's very expansive, which makes you look even.
All right, moving right along. More importantly here about the Knicks.
Yes.
Cat had a lot of foul trouble in the first half,
Right.
and as the coach talked about, that led to some of their struggles.
No, it did. But they also put a lineup out there when Cat was on the bench that could really defend. And Jericho Sims gave great minutes, gave great energy. His rim protection was really good. I think his ability to move his feet and control the pick and roll. And the Knicks also switched a lot of stuff with him out there on the floor. That's when they started to make their run.
All right, great defensive sequence here to show everyone. Knicks in the second half gave up only 44 points. Great work leading the other way to a Brunson 3.
And it's all about the personnel that Tom Thibodeau put out there on the floor. Pretty much every position could switch. And look at this, freeze it there. That was the first switch. Now here's the ball. This is kind of like a dribble weave. Okay, fine. Mikal Bridges is going to come up and switch. None of these screens have any impact because three light defenders, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart over there, there's a little bit of a screen. Nope, we'll switch that too. Right now, they're not going anywhere. And DeJounte Murray, with 7 seconds on the shot clock, he's got to try to create something against one of the elite perimeter defenders in the NBA, fighting the shot clock. Bridges doesn't commit a foul. Good defense, missed shot. Look at what it leads to. Get that ball out to Jalen Brunson. The Brunson burner. Stoke it up. Get it going. Hand down, man down. Bang. What a shot. Jalen Brunson turning the defense into the offense. Give him the three. Smell it. Smell a victory down in New Orleans.
All right, so Brunson was 16 in the third quarter, and then when they doubled him, the Knicks were able to make the right play, and the sequence we're going to show everyone, Mikal Bridges for 3.
Yeah, and this team's got versatile pieces all over the place. And when teams start to double team Jalen Brunson, freeze it there, they're throwing a pretty much visible double team at Jalen Brunson where he can split the defense, get it to another point guard and playmaker in Deuce McBride, and then once he gets it in the middle, this is what Tom Thibodeau talks about. It's 4 on 3 on the weak side because they put 2 on the ball. So once that happens, you make a quick decision, you're going to get an open shot. And Deuce McBride, when he catches it there, he knows he's got an option. Look at Jericho Sims. He wants the lob, so he crashes the boards, which makes that defender respect him. Kick it out to Mikal Bridges. Key shots he made in that second half. Big threes from those corners. Got himself to 18 points, second leading scorer. Mikal Bridges was big time, and the offense was smooth in that second half.
How about Deuce McBride being at the foul line there as opposed to being further away from the basket? Interesting position for him in that sequence.
Listen, you got to be able to play every position on the floor. You read the defense. If you're the closest guy to that nail, that's the nail on the foul line. That's where you want to get to because when you catch the ball there, you have so many options. You have the right wing, left wing, under the basket, dunker spot to the guy like Jericho Sims that's rolling to the rim. So when you catch the ball in the middle of the floor, that's when the defense is in trouble because they can't cover all areas on the floor.
All right, so the Knicks are able to win at 104-93. Knicks are back home Monday to play host to Toronto. R.J. Barrett, but no Emmanuel Quickley, who's still out with a bad elbow. Pre-game at 7, game at 7:30. Knicks win tonight in New Orleans. Josh Hart, one-time Pelican, back from the one-game absence because of personal reasons, went for 14. Here he is after the game.
Josh, anything said at halftime to kind of make you guys come out the way you did in the third quarter?
No, we just knew we had to play better. You know, I don't think anything could have been said at halftime because we got outscored by like 9 before we started playing. So, you know, we knew what we had to do, and then we just, you know, finally started to go out there and execute.
So what turned in the third quarter halfway through it?
I think just our pressure. I think we kind of picked the pace up a little bit. Our pressure defensively, we picked the pace up. JB obviously started, you know, knocking down shots, and we started trying to get him into it, and you know, that kind of changed the tides.
Personal reasons, and as always, made a valuable contribution tonight.
Yeah, he's great. You know, he's very professional, and these are the type of games in the schedule that an emotional win, obviously, with everything that was going on against the Timberwolves. Then you come and you got to play at New Orleans. You have a day off, and the Knicks came out a little bit flat. You know, I thought Josh Hart came out with a lot of energy. He didn't play, obviously, in Minnesota because of personal reasons, but he came out, brought the energy. He was in the lineup in the second half when the Knicks made their run. That's just a very professional win. When you can steal wins when you do not play at your best in this league, that's the sign of a really good basketball team.
Knicks' season high for most steals in the game is 16 as a team. Tonight, they tied for the second most with 11, and OG Anunoby had 3 of the 11 steals.
I mean, they were all over the place. You look at this box score, 3-2-2, 1-1-1. There multiple guys were just playing the passing lanes. You can do that against a New Orleans team that's missing some of their key creators on offense. You know, obviously Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. There's OG Anunoby knocking down that triple. You know, his offense is solid. You know, 6 for 17, didn't shoot the ball great. But when you get to 16 points, that's important. You know, find a way to help your team win when you don't always shoot the ball at a great percentage. And those hands, there it is. Like, just thievery all over the place. You know, he's so versatile. He allows you to switch a lot on the defensive end of the floor. And a lot of those stops, they led to easy baskets. And that's what kind of demoralized the Pelicans because they struggle to create good looks and good shots at the basket without a one-on-one guy that can really just go get you buckets like the Knicks have with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. So the Knicks did a good job of using Anunoby's defense, Bridges' defense, and that would create stuff in the open floor, which kind of really was tough for the Pelicans to deal with.
You know, you watch this team, and do they move without the ball better than they have in years past?
Yes.
Specifically, Mikal Bridges.
Yes.
Mikal Bridges went for the 18 tonight, and we've talked about his ability to get loose in the mid-range. Yes, he's hitting the threes, hitting the corner threes, but he does a great job of getting himself open in the half-court set.
That's the way every NBA coach now wants his players to play. NBA coaches don't like iso ball. That is not the new wave of the NBA, and everyone's saying there are too many threes being shot. I mean, it's just tough to guard this kind of offense when the ball moves like it does. The Knicks don't pound it, they don't hold it, they don't spin around and get double teamed and turn the ball over. They read the defense, pass the ball, attack the closeout, try to break down a defender. If you break down one defender in this league, you're going to get an open shot for one of your teammates if you make the right play and you make the right read. That's what Tom Thibodeau talks about all the time. And the Knicks have so many guys that have quick releases. They catch it, they shoot it, they catch it, they drive it, they catch it, they put it down. If the guy's in their way defending them, they pass it to someone else, go set a screen, get yourself an advantage on the offensive end of the floor. It's just impossible to guard when you have to chase all those shooters off the three-point line. You're going to break down the defense. You're going to get dribble penetration somewhere. And the Knicks offense is really fun to watch.
All right, they went 15 of 37 from downtown. We will take a look ahead when we continue as the Knicks are victorious tonight in New Orleans by 11. Stay with us. Brunson with 39. All right, so the Knicks, you see their schedule. Monday at home against Toronto, Christmas Day against the Spurs, Orlando on Friday on the road, and then they close out the year with a back-to-back, both in Washington on the 28th and the 30th. We'll be back to wrap things up after this. All right, wrapping up the post-game show. Knicks victorious in New Orleans. We'll see on Monday night. The Knicks will play host to the Raptors. We're on the air with the pregame at 7, game at 7:30. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Plus, now on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.